It's Celebrity Showdown.
After a week off for the match play, we are back with the Secret Golf Celebrity Showdown. Now, I can't even remember how the leaderboard is looking, and to be honest, that is a good thing because I know that I am firmly at the bottom. But it's okay. This week, I'm hoping that I will beat not only Elk, Jay, and our guest. Now, I'm going to introduce him right away because maybe we need a little bit of extra time to get the translation of these two Scottish accents that we're going to have on the show. But I am joined by a good friend of mine, and he is like the top golf writer in Scotland for Bunkered magazine and bunkered.co.uk. Michael Mcewen is here. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for the invite and for that incredibly generous and over-the-top introduction. Best golf writer, I'm not sure about that. There's probably at least 10 more I can think of.
No, you're very good. Very prolific on social media, which, Twitter is one of our favourite platforms.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're not tweeting these days, then what are you doing? You're nowhere. You have to be on Twitter and, venting your thoughts and all that sort of stuff. And it just so happens that I quite like doing that, so it works.
Elk, are you going to be okay with these two Scottish accents? I know it can be quite intimidating.
It is quite intimidating. Of course, this week we are in my backyard, Michael, in Texas at San Antonio. There's going to be a little Scottish weather, some Scottish wind on Thursday. So coming out of the north, which is very rare for this time of the season. So I hope you've put that into your pick, because I know there's a couple of Scotsmen in the field, including Noxie. Well, she's already taken her brother, so don't even worry about that. Noxie always takes guys that have nice looking clothes or her brother. So there you go.
That's a good logic. I can't fault it, to be honest with you. No, if Adam Scott was going to be picked, I'd be picking him on looks.
It doesn't work though. Like, this is why I'm so bad week after week, because I pick with my heart way too often. What I will say, and I said this last time we played, I'm not picking Russell. I said it last time and I did pick him, but I'm 100% not, because he told me that he was coming home for 3 weeks after the Honda because he needed a break and he was just maxed out and he was in a terrible mood and he was snapping at his caddy. So he said that he was going to take a rest for 3 weeks. Then I checked the field and he's signed up and he's off to Texas. So I give up.
Yeah, but he has had a rest, Noxie, and it is going to be windy. And Russell he's a straight hitter, and this is a medium range type golf course, perfect for guys like Russell Knox. So I'm doing a little backdoor pedaling here for you. I'm going to try to mind zap you back to Russell.
But Jay's going to do the opposite. He's like, don't do it.
Yeah, Diane, clearly he's written you out of the will. He's giving you bad information. You're not picking him. I mean, it all starts to make sense. And while you three talk, I'm trying to get my Google Translate open so I can figure out what the hell's going on. I'm still lost. I think his name's Michael. Hi, Michael.
Jay, how's it going? You all right? I should really give you a proper Scottish introduction and go, all right, mate, what's happening? But only Noxie will understand that.
I'm just going to wave.
Anyway, here in Jacksonville, we have very Scottish weather today. It's dark and gloomy and pouring rain, so I feel a little bit more at home.
You shouldn't. It's glorious here in Scotland right now. In Glasgow, I'm looking at it, there are blue skies. I mean, lots of people looking around, pointing up at the sky, going, what's that big golden thing? I've never seen it. So
the world's upside down today. I don't know.
Very much.
Noxie may cry during this today.
Come on now. This is not a happy segment for me on the show week after week. Anyway, we're going to get right into it because the Celebrity Showdown is live on the SG Tour Golf Gaming app now. You can go on. It's a public game. It's $10 to enter. Dollars, Michael, not pounds. And the top 3 will win money. Now, you have to pick a 4-ball team for the duration of the Valero Texas Open. 1 guy from each tier. And if your guy misses the cut, he's marked down for an 80 over the weekend. So, Michael, that's the key. Elk's good at this, but you have to pick 4 guys who are going to make the cut.
Yeah, you know what? I've been looking at the app, which is brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's such a cool idea. And I have made, I don't know how many different choices. I've got so many different combinations. So every time I think I've got it, I go away, get a coffee, come back, look at it again and go, nah, I've got this completely wrong. So
Oh, I love.
I'll probably change my mind during this.
I love hearing all that. That's great for the rest of us.
All my trips to Scotland, Scottish people are the most thoughtful gamblers in the world. All my trips that I've gone to St Andrews, they've got the betting shop up the corner. Guys like Michael will sit in the pub for an hour and look at their picks, go up, bet a little bit. No, am I going to go back and change, come back, and then walk down to the golf, watch all the matches. It's a great atmosphere to over there in Scotland. You guys have great traditions there for gambling.
Yeah,
one of our great traditions, Elk, is the fact that we're hopeless at it as well. I mean, there's no such thing as a poor bookie in Scotland.
It's true.
It's a completely different culture. I tell people that all the time. Okay, anyway, right, we're going to get into this, Michael. You're going to give us each of your picks, and then we're going to slate them, pretty much is how it goes. So, Tier A, who have you gone for?
There's probably no real surprise here. I've gone for Jordan Spieth. Simply because Jordan is, I don't want to say he's back, because he's not back. He hasn't won yet. Jordan, the bar for him is different to a lot of other guys. I'll fully believe he's back when he wins again. He's showing signs that he's getting back to his old self. But I think this week, playing in his home state, just with the momentum behind him, fans starting to come back, looking for a big result the week before Augusta, needing some positive momentum to take, how can you not pick Jordan Spieth? I can't see any way you can leave him out. I'm about to be told, though, aren't I?
Well, Michael, it's a good pick in theory, but you sitting in Scotland do not understand this particular golf course. Everyone knows that I'm super high on Jordan Spieth. I picked him to win the match play last week because why? He can hit it anywhere last week and still scramble. We saw him do it. He almost got to the semis. But this particular golf course that Greg Norman designed, he did it in a furor, and he designed it so narrow, up on a hill, lots of crosswinds. I just don't think Jordan's driver is the best club in his bag, and I think I've sort of pulled him out of the game this week. In my perspective, I'm not banking at all on Jordan this week. So that's my 10 cents worth.
Elk, not only is it not his best club in his bag, the driver, it's his absolute worst. And when you're playing a course where driving accuracy is going to be at a premium, if you rank 204th on the PGA Tour, which Jordan Spieth does, that is probably a warning sign that he's going to be in trouble from the get-go. He's not going to make up for it even when he is in the fairway. He's 165 in green and regulation. And if he misses, he's 131st. He's red and orange across our chart. This is a terrible matchup for player and course. Don't take offense, Michael.
None taken whatsoever. Do you know what? The way I think of it is everything you've just said is 100% right. And if it was simply a case that golf was just a driving competition, I would never ever pick Jordan Spieth. But there's so much more to his game. He has not been driving well for forever, really. He's got a horrible two-way miss. And yet he's still been posting better numbers than he has in a long time. He's still been riding that little bit of momentum that he's been missing for so long. And I firmly believe that when Jordan Spieth starts yakking on the course and, bending Michael Greler's ear, that's when you know that he's feeling good. That's when you know that things are starting to happen for him. And to be honest, he hasn't given Michael Greler a single minute's peace in the last month or two. So I'm despite the driving issues, I'm feeling good about Jordan. I think something big is going to happen soon.
I like your faith in him. He is 25th in putting average. That may be your saving grace this week, so we'll see.
And I'm the optimistic one. However, I like the story, and I'm saving the Jordan Spieth victory for next week at the Masters. I just think that the hype is going to be surrounding him to the max there. Right, so Tier A pick is Jordan Spieth. As we move down, Michael, Tier B, who do you think is going to be the one?
This is an even more obvious pick for me than Jordan Spieth. Charlie Hoffman. He's played in this event 14 times. He's made the cut 14 times. He has a T-shirt that he gets updated every year to show the latest career earnings he has at the Texas Open. Who else has their own tournament T-shirt? So I'm feeling pretty good about Charlie. Plus, he needs to win this week to go to Augusta next week. He likes Augusta. He plays well there. I always, and this is the example of what Elk was talking about with Scots and their gambling, I always put money on Charlie Hoffman to be the first round leader at Augusta National. So I'm thinking, how could you possibly not want to have him in your 4 ball this week?
Well, Michael, you've got yourself back on track, mate, because you've taken a medium range hitter. He doesn't have to stretch this week. He's a very accurate player. He of course, hurt his back a couple of times this year trying to get to 190 mile an hour ball speed. I talked to one of my friends, he represents Waste Management, one of my friends here who works for them. I said, why would Charlie Hoffman try to hit the ball further? It's not his game. He's a medium range player. He plays good at the Texas Open, for goodness sakes. It's a narrow golf course where you got to hit it straight and he can just relax and play his game. But this is a very good pick. Charlie Hoffman was on my radar. We have a lot of players scattered in our top 10 this week that look a lot like Charlie Hoffman when you think of Zach Johnson and other medium range hitters. Yes, this is a solid pick, Michael. You're back on track, mate.
Excellent.
I love this pick. I love it. I'm a huge Charlie Hoffman fan. In fact, we had him as our dark horse 2 weeks ago at the Players, and he performed for us. His Achilles is off the tee, but Elk just refuted that by saying that's not going to really matter because length isn't his game. He's green across our chart. He's a veteran. This is our horses for courses matchup. And he has his own T-shirt. Elk, you need like a Players Championship T-shirt.
I got a couple of trophies back there. I don't.
I guess that's a better trade-off.
Yeah, we have Charlie Hoffman as one of our sizzlers this week. I mean, he won the event in 2016. He's been runner-up twice, including last time the tournament was played in 2019. So I think Charlie Hoffman is a solid choice, Michael. Well done.
Thank you. I'm just going to drop the mic and move on. That's me. I'm done.
Yeah, I always think if we could just go on tier A and tier B, I might be okay, because as we move down, it's a little bit trickier with tiers C and D. And as we said, you're looking for guys to make the cut. So tier C, who you got?
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. I had a lot of trouble with these two, tier 3 and tier 4 in particular. Gone back and forth, and I'm struggling just to settle on one. But even now, I'm still going back and forth. But you know what? Just because he played well last week, I'm going to go with Joseph Bramlett. And that is the only thing I can bring to the table, is the fact that he did okay last week. So I quite like that. That's, again, to use Paul McGinley's favourite word, momentum is with him, and momentum is everything. So as long as he makes the cut, I am happy.
Bramlett is a very interesting pick because I've watched this kid ever since he graduated out of Stanford, and he's always super hot or super cold. I mean, I've picked him in a couple of my tiers before, and he'll either miss the cut by 12 or he'll be right in the hunt. And you're right about one thing, and that is Bramlett, when he gets playing well, he keeps going. Does he have the skill set? It's always interesting to me, Michael, and you're obviously a golf writer. How much do you take when you handicap golf from sort of statistics and experience and, current form? And it's a bit of a menu or an ingredient you put together. But Bramlett is a decent pick. Jay, what say you?
Well, he's coming off a T13 last week, so that's encouraging. So he showed that he can at least play good golf over a 4-day stretch. It's a little bit of a different animal here. I'm looking across the board, 144 off the tee, 41. I kind of like your logic to take a flyer here. There's no need to be conservative in tiers C and D if you want to win. Now, if you want to place in the money on the app, maybe a little bit of a different strategy. But I love the fact, Michael, that you are going for that top slot. You're not just worried about being in contention. This is definitely your make or break pick. Of course, we're still going to hear what tier D has to offer. But this is an interesting pick. I can't give it my blessing because his numbers won't allow me to do it. But I really like your gumption here to go out on a limb.
Total gut instinct. That's all it is.
And I would like to know, just out of curiosity, who are the other guys that you're between for Tier C?
Oh my goodness, I'll need to refresh my
Looking
memory.
for a tip here, Michael.
Yeah,
You don't have to
what,
do anything.
I did think about Chesson Hadley, but his form hasn't been good in the slightest. And JB Holmes as well, I thought, just given how well he played a couple of weeks ago, despite the fact he took the best part of 2 weeks to do it. So I don't know. There were a few guys in there that I was going back and forth on, and yeah, it's totally gut instinct.
I like it. That's a good pick. And then the fourth and final tier to complete your 4-ball. Who are you picking from Tier D? This is my favourite one always.
Yeah, again, it's a little bit of a just lob and hope, but I'm going with Kev. I'm not sure how you pronounce his surname, but I'm going with Kevin Chappell or Chappelle or let's go Chappell. I'm going with Kev. he's my guy in the final pot. You know, again, his form's been really poor for a number of months, but I think he's had some injury issues and showing glimpses of a bit of a return to form. I think he was top 15 in his most recent appearance. It's momentum once again, and I think that I've seen him play up close at the Scottish Open. I love the way he plays in windy conditions, and like Elk says, if it's going to be windy in Texas this week, then his ball flight is going to, I think, serve him pretty well. But I can't bring much more to the table than that.
Well, a past champion too. He won here in 2017. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd forgotten all about it.
Yeah, your instincts are great on Chappell. It's a sentimental feeling I have for you, Michael, because Chappell, I love the guy. I think he's been injured on and off this season, but he's got a great golf swing. I mean, if you ever wanted to see a guy really hit the ball crisp, I mean, he is it. And I'd like to see him play well, just from a side standpoint. It's a decent pick on D. The question mark is, what is his form? He does know how to play, of course, at this course. This course so much is about, where do they line up the tee shot to go over the trees and let it bring back into the fairway? And do they have enough courage to play some of these side wind holes the correct way? And that's going to be we're going to see it on Thursday morning. The wind's going to be blowing 30 miles an hour out of the north. Just for your own sake, Michael, I hope Chappell has a good week, mate.
Here's hoping.
Injury plus 207th off the tee equals, you might want to cover your face. Kevin Chappell, Dave Chappelle, I'm not sure who you should go with this week. You might have better luck with Dave Chappelle off the tee. You don't see a lot of 207s. But I'm going to cross my fingers for you, Michael, because I just like the fact that you're really reaching deep with these guys. We chart these out every week. And once you get below page 3 on our charts, we really don't even look at them. I've had to scour for your last 2 picks. They're way down here on my chart, but it's going to be really impressive, A, when you beat Diane, because we all do, and B, if you're in contention this week, you really have bragging rights.
Oh, I really do. Wait.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a good team, and as the guys alluded to, it's just cool to see some interesting, different picks that could really shine this week. So you're going with Jordan Spieth, Charlie Hoffman, Joseph Bramlett, and Kevin Chappell.
That's the one. Those are my 4 stars. They're 100% going to produce the goods. That's your top 4 right there.
That is an all-time roster right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to print that out and frame it and put it on my wall, especially if you win.
I feel like you've got a shot, Michael, but mate, you've got a chance to smash spectacularly into the wall at any point with that team, mate.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. It's the only way to fly, isn't it?
The only Scottish way, yeah.
True Scotsman.
Ending on a brilliant Scottish note. Right, Michael, thank you so much for coming on. What have you got going on right now? Anything, especially with the Masters next week?
Yeah, loads going on. I mean, ordinarily I'd be at Augusta, but COVID has determined that that's not going to happen. So I'll be reporting on the tournament from home. So it's going to be a few late nights, but that's okay. I'm used to that. And yeah, we're just working hard as ever, in and out of the office. It's really weird. I've not seen some of my colleagues in 12 months or so. We're just getting used to working remotely. But Yeah, just keeping the head down, Noxie. You know how it goes in Scotland. The one thing I'm pleased about is that people can now come into other people's gardens. So that's why I don't have a crazy lockdown barnet going on. So I've been able to get a trim, which is that's the single most important thing for me.
Michael, before I let you go, I want to thank you for being on our show. What are you looking forward to? I know we're talking about the Texas Open this week, but what are you thinking about Augusta? Your Open champion, Lowry, has been like the Open champion for 2 years, and he's had a glorious run of fame. Everyone showering on the Open champion. Dustin Johnson it feels like he hasn't even taken the sticker off his jacket. What are you thinking about for next week? Is it the Masters next week again, or is it?
I think so simply because there's going to be some patrons on the ground. You know, that's the difference. That was the one big thing that was lacking from November, was just the roars. We're so used to hearing them, aren't we? And it's, especially on a Sunday, you know, the roars at Augusta make the tournament and or certainly contribute largely to how entertaining and the spectacle of the tournament. So it's great that they're going to be back. Look, I would absolutely love to see Rory Mcilroy win and complete the career Grand Slam. I think that you'd have to travel a very long way in the world to find somebody who doesn't want Rory to win at some point. I just feel that there's too much going on with him at the moment, though, and these swing changes that he's going through with Pete Cowan, I think it's the right move, but it's probably about 6 months too late. So I'm excited for Robert McIntyre as well, fellow Scotsman who's punched his ticket and I think as we speak, he's in Sawgrass doing a bit of a warm-up for heading down to Augusta. You know, lefties have a great record around there. Mike Weir, Phil Mickelson, Bubba Watson. Is Bob the next one? You know, you'd love to think so. But my winner is the guy you just said, Dustin Johnson. He's been the champion for 5 months, and I think he's going to get to wear the jacket for 12 more. Only 3 guys have ever defended the Masters, as we know. Tiger, Faldo and Nicklaus. So he's going to be in extremely good company if he does do it. But he's figured out that golf course now. He's got the experience of it. He knows all the right places to miss, you know, the right places to hit. And when his putting's on, my God, he is tough to beat.
That's a good summary. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Good. Right, Michael, thank you very much. Enjoy the blue skies of Glasgow and we'll catch up with you soon.
Whilst they last, they've gone already. Jeez. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.
Play Money Grabber on the SG Tour. Instead of strokes, it's all about the cash. You pick a team of 4 players, 1 from each tier, and scoring is based on the money that your team wins. Your guys missed the cut? No problem, you're still in the game. The SG Tour Golf Gaming app, available on iOS in the App Store.